All right, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Clairvoyance number 8. I'm your host, Solid Jake, and this is, we have Curse here with us today. See you, Steve. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. I'm hyped. BlizzCon, all kinds of stuff got announced today. We had that major announcement that hit Reddit today, and we got a bunch of BlizzCon goodies this week, so I'm feeling like it's going to be a good show.
Well, Curse, this is your first time here on any of my shows, and I'm very excited to finally get to sit down and talk to you guys. But so we got Sneaky. Sneaky, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Curse Gaming.
So I am the support player and captain for the Team Curse Hots. I'm Canadian, if that counts for anything. I don't know. I just Hots player, Team Curse.
All right, I'm sure Jester will love you.
Yeah,
fellow Canadian.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
Well, Sev, tell us a little bit about yourself. What role do you fill on the team?
I'm mostly playing the range assassin role, mostly for the team.
Range assassin.
Usually, maybe Tassadar here and there.
He's basically a ranged assassin at this point in the game, honestly. So
good.
I would definitely classify him as a ranged assassin. So, one of the questions we like to ask somebody every week here on not Town Hall, Clairvoyance, and is I just got finished editing Town Hall. Is we want to know why you guys came to Heroes of the Storm. So tell us each. Let's start with Sneaky. What's your background in gaming? Have you been playing games competitively? Is this your first competitive title?
I actually started playing games competitively when I was about 17, back actually in the MLG days. So I'm really no stranger to that. As for MOBAs, I just mostly played a lot of Dota, Dota mod back in the day, Dota 2. And then Heroes came out, and I've been sticking with it ever since. It's just such a good game.
Now, you say back in the MLG days, what game were you playing?
My favorite one was Shadowrun. Rest in peace. One year. That game, it's just so good. But my other one was Halo franchise.
So you come from shooters, but not team-based games. But now you're going into Heroes, but you have some Dota background. Now, Sev, how about you?
I came from a Counter-Strike background, mostly with 1.6 and Source back in the day. And mostly played LoL for the fun of it. I really honestly hated MOBAs at the time because I didn't understand why did people love MOBAs. Then one day I just, I was like, let's try it. Let's give it a day. When I first played it, I actually enjoyed it. Didn't sleep for 36 hours straight playing a MOBA. And I got hooked ever since. I knew Heroes was the one because I hated farming in any MOBA. I hated farming.
So it's pretty much just
it's just such a boring. I'm mostly playing ranged DPS in every MOBA. It's just so boring farming for 30 minutes just to get items to do damage. I'm just like, why? Why do you have to do that?
I agree with you. That's exactly why I did not get into League and Dota, and Heroes had the appeal to me, just the farm. So, is that really what drew you guys to Heroes as a whole, though? Just Sneaky, is that what brought you into? You didn't have that whole grind in the beginning of the game, and just kind of the faster gameplay? Is that kind of what drew you in?
Well, as a support player in Dota, I don't really know what farm is, so that didn't really affect me. But I think the main thing was this really is a team-based game. That one person just can't put their team on their back and run away with it. Everybody needs to pull their weight.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's pretty much everything you guys have said is usually things that are listed in the top 3 of why people are playing Heroes. So it makes sense. And I'm glad you're here.
Mm-hmm. Well,
all right.
Yeah, Matt, why don't you go to our next question here on the list?
All right. So I met you guys a long time ago, pretty much at the start of the alpha, and you were known as FYF. So what was the background on that team? I know that you were there, Sneaky. We talked pretty often. I used to talk to Fury all the time. So how did this current team become, and where did it come from in the first place?
So it was myself, Grim, and Sev who kind of formed FYF. It was just honestly a for fun name. It wasn't anything serious. And then we met Fury and Gaz they came from League, and they were just like really, really good players in that. And you know, they're like, hey, we're interested in competitive heroes, want to see where it goes. So we just started running lots of games at the beginning of alpha, and yeah, they're honestly a perfect fit for us.
Cool. All right.
Well, the transition from there is you guys went from FYF to being Curse. How did that go about? Did you guys reach out to Curse? Did you guys know someone prior to that? Like, how did the whole process go?
So, you know, we put out a bunch of feelers like a lot of teams do, talked with a couple different organizations, but at the time, it was still really early alpha. Not a lot of teams really were thinking about picking anyone up because it's in alpha. But you know, Team Curse, they just saw the potential in us as a team and as the game in a whole, and they decided, you know, let's make this happen. And I mean, we've been happy with them ever since. They're really awesome guys.
I mean, I can't disagree. Curse is all over the place. They're a massive organization. I've been using Curse, you know, as an application on my computer since the early WoW days, because I'm an early WoW nerd. So Curse is definitely a household name in the gaming industry, and it's awesome that you guys got picked up and that they're involved in Heroes, because not even just your team, but they have Heroes Nexus, which is their website, and I actually frequent that website quite a bit. So would you guys give tips to anyone on how to get picked up, like in the way you guys did? You guys said you reached out feelers, but like, did you guys really like sit down and like write like almost like a cover letter, like you guys were applying to a job? How did the process go?
Yeah, so I've actually talked with a few teams who are looking for to be picked up, and I always say, you know, make up some kind of like application or resume, cover letter type of thing. If you have that competitive background, definitely list, you know, your achievements, what you've done, stuff like that. And you know, the hardest thing is to get your foot in the door. You know, if you can actually sit down and talk with those people, then you can really kind of show them what you have to offer, type of thing. And you know, that was definitely a struggle at first to try to get these people to actually sit down and talk, and then slowly, after kind of talking with them, like emailing, stuff like that, we were able to sit down, and yeah, now we're on Curse.
So the key is, don't give up. If you guys think you are worth it and you think the team is the right fit for you, just don't annoy them, but keep at it. Keep at it.
Yeah. Don't be a pain in the butt, but make sure they know you're there.
All right. Perseverance will get you far. All right. So that's your tips on how to get picked up. So after you got picked up, what was kind of the requirement from Curse? Because anybody that's been in any kind of contract knows that something is given. Like, you get the benefit of being on Curse, but they usually want you to do something. So obviously you guys are doing the show for HPL, and we'll get into that in a second, but is there anything else that they're just like, hey, you need to be doing X, Y, and Z, or is it kind of just free reign right now?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure how much I can talk about it too much, but I mean, basically, like, we have these shows, writing guides, we have some video guides in the works as well, and just trying to be active. You know, they know the game's in alpha. We're getting custom games soon. We don't have it right now, so that was, of course, a little bit of issue that the community's been struggling with. But they know the game needs to develop a little bit more at this current time. So, yeah, but when it gets bigger, you know, more responsibilities come with that.
Now, you mentioned that we're getting custom games. Now, this is the news that just came out today. The alpha's coming to a close, and the alpha will be down for a full week, and will be coming back on the 7th of October. And with that, we're getting custom games, and it looks like replays are actually going to be a functional thing, which is a big deal for anyone that's involved in the competitive scene. Does this mean that we're going to see, like, you know, we have leagues going on right now, and we have some kind of, you know, King of the Hills and exhibitions and stuff like that happening, but Curse has not been doing a lot of that. Do you want to talk about, like, why we haven't seen a lot of you, and will we be seeing more of you in the future?
Yeah, so I think actually, Sev, this is probably, you can answer that a little bit better. So yeah, if you want to go ahead with that.
Oh, we see it as, like, since how would you say it? We saw it as, let me think here.
Oh, okay. Pretty much.
I'm just like, I'm so sorry.
So, like Sev, he's been in and out of the hospital, unfortunately, without making this big sob story. He had surgery and stuff. So, unfortunately, we couldn't go in it. We didn't see it like, okay, we could go in, pick up somebody as a sub, but it's not a good representation of our full team.
And when you consider I just want to jump in and say there's nothing on the line at this point in the time. Like it's so early in the alpha that everything's illegitimate because everything's so makeshift. Yeah, I know, but still, a lot of people look at it that way. I mean, so is that kind of one of the factors where you guys said whatever, we can hold it out?
Well, yeah, like as I said, with him, not being so well there for a little bit, that definitely was a factor. We figured, okay, it's actually an okay time because there's nothing truly on the line, like in terms of like big prize money, stuff like that. That being said, these leagues are great. Like yes, it's just for glory, but it allows teams to get their name out there, and just really show off what Heroes is going to be. So we are doing the Team Curse post game show with the HPL, because we wanted to still be involved with the competitive scene and these leagues. And that's been going pretty good, I think.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that show?
Okay. So Pride, the owner of, I think he's the owner, of Nexus Jam, he came to us and he said, hey, like, we want to kind of put this show together with you guys. Just talking about matches that went on, interviewing players, and just kind of talking about like the competitive side of Heroes. So it's every week, twice a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And we just hop on there, as I said, interview people. We talk about what happened in the competitive matches in the Heroes Premier League, and we just kind of analyze and talk about bands picks, what's interesting, different metas and different regions, stuff like that.
Cool. So when you say that you talk about pretty much anything competitive related, do you guys ever bring up game balance or anything like that? Like, what are your personal views on the state of the game in terms of balance for Heroes right now? This can be to both of you. Sev, if you want to jump in.
Well, I can. I would more talk about the supports. That's definitely I like to think of expertise, since that's pretty much all I play. With the recent patch, a lot of them got changed up a little bit, but I mean most of them are still definitely viable in competitive play. I think Blizzard is doing a really good job at listening what players find to be broken, and they try to fix it. But yeah, I mean, as for supports, I'm happy where they are. I kind of wish I got to play Uther a little bit more, but it's just like, oh, ban Uther. All right, well. Oh.
Yeah.
Same for like range assassins. The only one you see in play is basically just Vala, Tychus. That's about basically it in every team comp, maybe a false set here and there too. It's just I wish there was more like variety in like range assassins.
Yeah, I think that's coming. I think that's coming.
I mean, when you consider how young the game is, I mean, we know we're getting Kael'thas, we know we're getting Sylvanas. I mean, that's at least two right there, and I think there's more.
I think we have Jaina
on
too.
The way. Oh, Jaina.
Thrall probably.
Jaina's going to be a little bit weird though. I feel like she's going to be more crowd control. So yeah, that'll come. It's definitely one of those problems where there's not a whole lot of different variety that we're going to see in the game right now, because the player pool is a fraction of the other big games that we look at, League and Dota. But overall, in terms of balance, you think the game's in a good spot? You think pretty much, like you said, the supports are all more or less viable, maybe not Lily, for the supports and for the ranged assassins. Is there anyone that stands out that might be too weak, that you might need a buff? Or
like Nova. No, I've really never seen, like in the league shows, but I've really never seen a Nova played. I want to see why she's not being played. She does have high burst, but she has no escape. She gets cut out, she's instantly dead. So maybe tweak her a bit.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, I mean, Lily, she can give you heals, but other than that, what's she going to bring to the table, really? Which I don't know, I'm fine with. I was never big on Lily, just, well, because of that reason, right? Like, I'm like, okay, I can heal the team, but, Malfurion, I can root, stuff like that, stuns. And I think that kind of goes back to my Dota days, where a lot of supports, it was more so, like, about the stuns and crowd control over just, like, straight up healing all the time. So I would definitely like to see a lot more who are more CC focused. That'd be really interesting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think a fair number of them already have that, for sure, and it definitely stands out. I mean, Uther, we see Uther and Malfurion being some of the, considered some of the best, and Rhaegar. I think those are probably considered the top 3 right now. But Tyrande, for a long time, Tyrande said she wasn't very good, but a lot of people consider Tyrande very good now in a lot of compositions. So I think we've got a pretty diverse game, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
So on the same idea of game balance, how do you guys feel that, or how do you feel about the way that Blizzard has approached game balance, where sometimes they nerf things, sometimes they buff things? Do you think that they're going in too much of a nerf everything kind of way? Do you think that they should just buff things so that they're all at the same level? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, now's the time to really do these crazy changes in alpha. So, I mean, I'm fine with that. They need to test it, see what works. If it was in open beta or something, and they do like these crazy nerfs or buffs, I mean, that's a little questionable. But the other factor too is like when they add in a new hero, they have to sometimes look at other heroes and buff or nerf depending on what that one can do. And I think that's pretty standard for other MOBAs as well. Like one new hero, champion, whatever, can really change things up.
Yeah, especially something like with the Zagara, with making her Nidus Swarm Global, doing that cheese play with the ETC and jumping in, just getting the Nexus within 8 minutes and stuff like that.
Oh, like the global kind of play, the full global team.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's super cheese comp.
It's super cheese comp, but it's super exciting, and it's just one of those
it's just funny to watch because you already know it's going to happen.
Right, for sure. But I mean, you put it out exactly. You said one hero can really mix up the game, and we saw exactly that with Rhaegar. We saw Bloodlust compositions surface and become scary, and they completely shifted the meta. And in our next patch, we have both Anubarak and Asmodan coming into the alpha. What are your hopes and thoughts about those 2 upcoming heroes?
I'm really looking forward to Anubarak. I just think what he's going to be able to do, really amazing. I definitely see him as a ganker for sure. Asmodan, I really don't know what to think. Maybe if I got to play him, at one of these events, but I don't know what to expect in terms of, is he going to be really good? Is he going to be not so good? So I'll have to wait and see.
Same here. I'm mostly excited for Anubarak more than Asmodan because of going underground and stunning someone going through the walls. It's gonna be major game, major plays coming out.
So
yeah,
you play ranged assassin, and Asmodan has the longest range in the game, and it's not appealing.
It might not do damage.
He's not an assassin.
He's not an
assassin. It does pretty decent damage. I'll tell you right now. It does pretty decent damage. I got to play it, but it's not really assassin-y. It's definitely more specialist as he's labeled. So
okay.
I don't know. I'm excited for making sick plays from downtown. Just
yeah, you can bomb things farther than graduating, max graduating range. One of his Q, if you take the appropriate talent, will actually go farther than max graduating range, and it does more damage based on range. So it's pretty cool. But in terms of assassin, I don't know.
So we were talking about mixing up the meta. Now, this is a really hard question to answer, but I'm going to go for it anyways. I'm going to go target this at Sev initially. Do you think, with Asmodan in the game and having that extreme range, do you think that poke compositions will be a viable thing, where you grab Hammer with graduating range, Tyrande with the arrow build, where you really spec into just having the arrow and super low cooldown Sentinel, and Asmodan with his whatever it's called? Do you think that's going to be something that we can actually see happen, where you just kind of really just poke away at their towers?
It may work. Sergeant Hammer's still annoying, right, till the point. You just protect the hammer and just siege a turret. And you can do it with Asmodan and even with Tyrande. That just even push even faster. So it may work. We just have to see it in play and see how it works when it actually comes out.
Yeah.
Sneaky, any thoughts on that?
Not Sneak?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Of course, really annoying to deal with that type of stuff. But I think the more play styles we can have in this game, the better. Like when Zagara came out, I fell in love. I was like, this hero is just amazing. You know, you can push just everything. So, I mean, heck, if we're going to get another person who can hopefully push, you know, poke people out, I'm all for it. The more play styles, the better.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that's what he's going to be.
Yeah, he's certainly interesting. We'll see how people play him. I'm interested to see how people play the 2 new heroes because I got my hands on them and they're really fun. But so with that, not necessarily with that in mind, but kind of the same idea. We've had a pretty sizable amount of changes to the maps in the game as well. Obviously, the big one being Haunted Mines, but Garden got a pretty decent amount of love as well. So, do you think that a poke comp would work on the new Mines or the new Garden, or is there just no way that's going to happen? And how do you feel about the new maps?
For me, I think the poke comp will work in the Haunted Mines because it's only a 2-lane map, and you can have like 4 people top, 1 person bomb just to soak EXP and just keep pushing the wave over and over again on top lane. So I can see that working.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Haunted Mines would be pretty good, especially when you get the Golem up. You can really just kind of poke people out, keep it alive longer. That'll be interesting. And Garden of Terror, I mean, kind of the same thing. It could work. Try and keep people off of the little like plant that you throw down. Forget the name of it, but no, I definitely think poke comp can work.
Okay. How do you feel about the maps in general, without considering the poke comp? Like, how do you feel about the changes that have come in this most recent patch?
I feel like Haunted Mines is really fast, or it can be really fast. I know you guys actually talked about that last week, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel. I think, you know, the mines need to be a bit bigger. It's really, really easy to clear it. Garden of Terror, it's really nice having that speed boost on the plant. It doesn't take you forever to get across the map. So that definitely helped. But I think Blizzard, they're going in the right direction. As I said earlier, they listen to what people want, and they're making changes. I think they'll still tweak a few things. I'm not sure exactly what, but they still don't feel like they're in the right spot as of yet. But, you know, that being said, they are much better, I think, overall.
But like you said, with Haunted Mines, the map length is seriously like down to like 15 minutes on average, I'd say, which is incredibly short, and that just pretty much says that the game is incredibly snowbally. In order for a map to end that quickly, it's snowbally. What do you think they could do to change that? I mean, do you have any ideas? Have you like thought about this, like changes they could make that could improve the map?
Well, like I said, maybe having the mines a bit bigger again could change up something. I like having just those 3 merc camps. I think that's much better than the 5 or so. I mean, honestly, either way, I was fine with both, but I think 3 is much better. As for what they'd have to change, though, really, I'm not too sure. I just think a good starting point is the mines, and kind of go from there.
Any thoughts, Seth?
Right.
Well, same thing with Sneaky, just the mines may be a bit bigger because you can clear it pretty fast, and the camps give you 2 skulls instead of 1, so you get skulls even faster. It's like a really disadvantaged team. If they're in there late, they can't get much skulls as they used to.
Very true.
Think of.
Yeah, definitely. That's all I got for maps.
Yeah, that's our map discussion. I mean, those are really the only 2 in contention right now. I mean, everyone pretty much agrees that, you know, Dragonshire, Curse, Hallow, and Blackhearts are all in a pretty good spot. They all seem to have dynamic, interesting games, and they're fun to play on and exciting to watch. So,
yes, unless you guys disagree, we can talk about that.
well, yeah.
No, I only disagree with the Blackhearts part though. It's
Really?
Just because
Yeah?
it's like if it's PVE, you don't have to team fight for anything. You just collect coins, turn it in, and the pyro will win the game for you. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it with
But
black
you have
cards.
to stop your enemy team from doing that.
Yeah.
And you have to make plays based around that. So that creates a dynamic, interesting thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're winning so hard that you can do that, then yeah, it's kind of unfun and silly. But when it comes to high-end competitive stuff, I don't think I've seen too much of that. I don't think I've seen teams that are just able to be like, okay, we're just going to PvE, and we'll just turn in without any like contesting at all.
To some extent, but not. I mean, it's not really something you see a lot. I mean, you see gank squads go out and make plays and stuff like that, and that's what creates an interesting dynamic. It really rewards map awareness, and really awards heroes that can have that map awareness. That's why I like that map. I find that to be the fact that is a viable thing to do. It makes one team so scary to the point where they don't have to initiate you and they could still win the game. Makes the enemy team play and react to that, and that's why I like it, because it's really unique. But
Yeah,
but
it's neat.
I mean, do you think they should, maybe the coins should have a even larger, I guess, increase each time you turn in? Like, what could they do to fix that if you don't like that?
Well, like me and like our team were like discussing like how can you change black cards, because like when you get like, if you're just down to your base and you turn in the coins, like you just need all 12 shots. You don't have to like, you can't defend against that if they're bombarding you. So it's like, that's kind of unfair. Like how are you supposed to defend something against that? Unlike the other maps, you could defend against the dragon, the other, and the garden, the terror. You can defend against that, but if they bombard, you can't defend against that. Like, if you're trying to defend, that's kind of like disheartening. Like, how are you supposed to like defend against something like that? Even though you can maybe come back, but turning in those coins makes you like, it's already over when they turn all those coins in.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
get
me
it.
too. I agree. I can see what your point of view, but it's interesting to hear somebody complain about it because most people say that's the one that's on the fence. Most people say Cursed Hollow, Dragon Knight, or Dragonshire. Those are like good. Blackhearts is okay, and then but I personally love Blackhearts. It's like, I think it's my favorite map, honestly. Well, Dragonshire is probably my favorite map, but I love Blackhearts. It's just so fun.
Yeah, it's like you said, Blackhearts, it's okay. It does, of course, have the team fights like a lot of the time. Golem, the hand in spot, you'll see a lot of team fights happen. But yeah, there's just it just sucks. You're watching your base get bombarded, and you're like, okay, just let it happen.
Yeah.
And like every other map, yeah, you can put up a defense at some point. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess you could put up a defense beforehand. Hopefully they don't sneak it in on you, which, when that happens, that's even worse. When you're sitting there like, are they handing in? Are they doing that camp? I don't know. And then you get bombarded. It's like, oh, man. So, but yeah, for me, it's really on the fence.
All right. Well, glad we talked about that.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, you want to lead? Or
Yeah. So BlizzCon's coming. In case anybody didn't know, it's coming. In
Of course,
a month and a
I
half.
got my code. I got my ticket already, I think.
Oh, you got the virtual ticket?
No, I got
You got the actual one?
I got the actual one, of course.
Right.
I got the code thing. I may give it away or some point. So I was thinking of giving it to my team, but
wait,
I mean, I kinda
you
don't
mean like the digital code for the digital rewards?
yeah, I already have the digital rewards code.
Nice. Okay.
Esports?
Esports?
I'm like
Hype?
I'm so jealous right now. You have no idea. Like those.
Why are you
Yeah,
jealous?
I would just say
tickets.
don't
I'm
give it
going there
away.
first.
Those things sell for like $1 bajillion. But
I like giving stuff away. It's fun.
I know I'm going, Matt, but I'm still jealous.
What? We're going to BlizzCon. Why would you be jealous?
I haven't told anyone this secret.
Well, we're going. Yeah, it's there now. It's out in the open.
Great.
We're going to BlizzCon.
I
So
just can't wait.
hopefully we get to see people there.
What they're gonna have in like the hero section. I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
straight to that.
I mean, that's where we're going.
Well, yeah, let's talk about it. What do you want to see?
There?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your number one thing at BlizzCon that you're just like, I want this. This is the thing that I'm going there for.
Titan's not going to be there, so hopefully it's not Titan.
Oh no, just like more heroes updates, seeing like what's the big thing, because I usually have like something really big at BlizzCon for like all the major games, like what they're gonna come out with, and I want to see what they're gonna come out with heroes. I know they're gonna have like the tournament thing, but my hopes are that it's gone. So I just want to see what they're gonna bring out and test out like hopefully they're gonna bring out maybe more heroes for BlizzCon, maybe
I got my
like,
fingers crossed for mages. If they bring out a mage hero, I'll be set.
You'll get Gul'dan.
I always wondered like how they're gonna classify a mage. Are those like maybe specialists or like what do you
I think they'll be assassins.
They'll be ranged
I think
assassins, but
I think the
they'll just
majority of them will be assassins.
Yeah, they're
like
just-
Kael'thas will be an assassin, and Jaina might be like a
She might be
specialist slash
specialist.
support.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm like, oh man, mages. If they debut a mage, I'll be so happy.
Someone
that'd be good.
just asked for Tyrion Ford Ring. I'd like to see Tyrion in the game. So do you think like they're going to do? I've asked people this before on the show, and if you guys have watched the show before, you're going to hear this question again. But we have Warlords coming out, Warlords of Draenor, the WoW expansion coming out a week after BlizzCon. Now, personally, I look at this as a cross-marketing opportunity. You have all these WoW nerds that, when I say WoW nerd, I'm a WoW nerd. I don't mean that offensively. Some people might take that offensively. I am a hardcore WoW nerd. I love WoW. Do you think they're going to take this time to do some cross-promotion and release heroes themed based off Warlords, like Gul'dan or Garrosh or something like that?
Rexxar.
I really hope so. Like, those ones that you guys mentioned, like, oh, I can't wait for them to be added. And yeah, I think it would be a perfect time to release at least one of them. I mean, come on, just one.
Yeah.
We'll be happy.
It would make sense for Rexxar. He is in Warlords and has been shown in videos.
I would die of
I think a
happiness
lot
to
of
get
people.
Rexxar.
Yeah, a lot of people would be like, "Oh my god, yes!"
And the thing about Rexxar is, let's talk about a new mechanic that we've pretty much confirmed here at PAX. Steve actually interviewed Browder, and he talked about individual micromanagement or micro of individual units, similar to Kerrigan and her Ultralisk. That could be one example. But I think if we get Rexxar, it's pretty much guaranteed that we're going to see Misha, his bear, as a separate unit. How excited are you guys to have these? It's a whole new playstyle for Heroes of the Storm. Like, is that something you guys are interested in playing as?
Yeah, I can't wait for that type of stuff. I mean, I played Kerrigan like early alpha and all throughout it, but every time I would like pick the Ultralisk and I'd summon it and I'd be like, I can't do anything with it. I just have to summon it, let it do its thing. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to add just another mechanic to the game, and
I just want to see how complex they're going to go about the macro management of like the unit. Maybe it might be like LoL where you just press a key and it'll just go to there, or it might be actually like Dota 2 style where it's actually complex. It's like its own unit. You have to control it with its own abilities and stuff like that. I just want to see how complicated they go with the macro management.
Yeah, I think most people that are calling for it right now want it to be super complex, but the non-vocal majority, I guess we'll call it, probably doesn't want something as intense as that. Personally, I obviously want as skill intense as it can get. Like,
Yeah.
that's my thing.
I agree.
But when you look at games for Blizzard, like, or at least this game specifically, they're trying to not make it super complex. So I imagine they're going to scale it back at least just a little bit, and maybe like gradually bring it in as we go along. But I think for the first time, we might be seeing like maybe like an ability that you can use off of the item or off of the whatever you're controlling, but nothing like Shen from Dota. Like, you're not gonna be able to like go capture camps and then like micro them to do their war stomps and stuff like that. That's not gonna happen.
So you don't think I'm going to be able to control Misha on her own and like body block people with a bear and
I think
orc?
you are. I think you are. I think you are.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to have movement and stuff like that. But as for abilities, I don't know if Blizzard would put that in this game yet.
Yeah,
Maybe down the road if a lot of people wanted it, but yeah, they want to keep it, easy for people to pick up and play.
So maybe one individual ability, like maybe Misha has charge and that's it, and charge is like a 1 second stun on it. Would that be? You think that? How far do you think they're willing to go?
Well, something like that. I mean, that wouldn't be too complex. You could just something simple like you click on it, you hit Q, it charges. Stuns the person. I don't think something like that would be too complex for the average player of the game. So I think it's just going to really depend on how vocal the community is on hey, we want it to be super complex or we don't, because of course Blizzard, they listen to their fans. And,
well, viewers, you heard him. Make sure if Misha isn't up to par with what she should be, with the full potential of Rexxar, let's make it happen.
Blizzard's gonna hate me now.
Make an email in your desk tomorrow. No.
So, back onto just talking about BlizzCon. I mean, so we've pretty much confirmed that there's not a tournament. There's a page on the battle that on the Blizzard or BlizzCon website that pretty much states exhibition matches. Do you think they're going to invite teams? Do you think it's going to be like players there? Like, what do you think there's going to be, and then what do you hope it's going to be?
Well, yeah, it's looking definitely, like a showcase type of tournament to kind of show off the game. I think instead of having those developer matches, we'll have some people come and play. I know the Town Hall guys, you guys have been really wanting to get up there. I know that would be really entertaining to watch, that's for sure. But I mean, I hope that they pick, of course, very skilled players at the game to show off, everything you can do with the game.
Did you just say Town Hall is not skilled?
Wow. No. We've had some good matches against some of you guys. But I just like in general, right? Like I hope it's not going to be like, you go to the event, you sign up, you play on stage in front of everybody type of thing.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be that way.
Yeah,
at least not. Well, it might be that way at the event, but in terms of actually like being streamed or something, I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll pick the people that they put up. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't really. I don't know. Something about that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's not a Blizzard kind of way.
So, Seb, what do you think's going to happen for the actual competition at BlizzCon?
I just think it's gonna be like a show match. It's like I just want to see maybe like skilled players and get the devs and see like what the players exploit from the game against the creators who made the game, and seeing like what they can do against them to just like cheese them so hard to be like they never like you're like whoa, be like just blow their mind, just be like you never thought you can do this with like a hero or something. I just want to do that or like see someone like do that. It'll be so awesome.
So what you're saying is we should basically just invite Symbiote is basically what we're doing.
Just backdoor comp.
Yeah, they just find ways to like do crazy things. It's just like, okay, sure, I guess we'll allow that. Whatever.
Dreadnought showed me. I think it was level 7 Abathur soloing knights. Like,
yeah.
Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? Yeah, it's they do. There's some silly stuff you can do in this game, and you know what? Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I hope we do see the devs get cheesed to no end.
That would be cool.
It'd be entertaining. It'd be entertaining. Cool. Well, I mean, outside of that, I mean, are there any heroes on your wish list that you would like to see come out of BlizzCon? We talked about maybe some cross promotion with Warlords of Draenor, but Blizzard has a massive list of heroes that could be added into this game, and you guys each have to have one that you guys want to see.
Snake, you want to go first?
Oh, without a doubt, Thrall. I've been waiting since day one. I got my Rhaegar, like that's good, but well, I really want Thrall.
I'm sure you're aware that Rhaegar was Thrall, and then they said this isn't actually this isn't Thrally enough. We need to Thrall it up a bit, and
gotta have that Doomhammer.
Yeah, he's gonna have Doomhammer. That's what it sounds like, and it's gonna be exciting. All right, Sev.
I'm most like a certain hero, more like some type of skill set, more like stat switching. Kind of like Udyr from LoL, like put that implement that with like into heroes, maybe like a druid transforming to like a boomkin or to like deer form or something like that. Something that can like just change constantly. Just do the game.
Okay,
that's the first time we've heard that, and I haven't actually thought about that at all in heroes. That's the best answer I've heard yet.
Yeah, a couple of people said that, and then like. Basically, the counter argument is like, well, we have Malfurion. He's basically Resto and Boomkin, depending on how you talent him. But yeah, I mean, I want something. I just want diversity in general. So I totally agree with that because seeing cool stuff is always fun. So I'm down with that.
Diversity is good. Yeah, I agree 100%. I just want to jump in and say I hope when they put Gul'dan in the game, he does like sacrifice life for mana or sacrifice life for spell power, like a very suicidal.
That'd be awesome.
And then have life drain on top of it. Like, I hope his health bar is just going up and down. Like, it's how he should be playing. It's going to be... I have so many... I'm so excited for the future of this game. Gosh, but...
And also like maybe like a kit for like a range assassin to be like based on only dot damage. Let's just do insane dot damage on like a range assassin. That's like my crazy like fantasy. Like I'm on a range assassin does like a lot. Just your whole kit's like dot damage.
There's a vague chance that we'll see a demolition lock of some form, or I don't know how they're going to build Sylvanas. It sounds like Sylvanas could have dot damage. She's definitely going to have a silence, but we'll see. I don't think she would end up being that role, the dot role.
Oh man, no, Jake.
I just want to talk about Sylvanas.
You're showing your non-warlock playing days.
I don't play warlock.
Demos not.
Oh, affliction. Gosh, I don't play warlock. All right, you know what? I'm a day one WoW player, and I've never played warlock or mage.
I know. You have everything else, just not those two.
I have everything else. All right. Well, you know what? Is there anything else you guys want to touch up on the interview? Because I think we've covered all of our points here. We're at the 50-minute mark, just about. And any final things you guys want to talk about in the community, like that you want to express for your team?
Well, I mean, I know I just want to say how excited I am for custom games and how that's going to help the scene grow even more. I think, now we can see map-specific drafts. So I know a lot of other teams are really looking forward to that as well, experimenting with a lot of different things on, specific maps.
You know what?
So, yep.
You just brought up another question. You said map-specific drafts, and now we can talk about that. So, tournaments now have the ability to run actual competitions where they don't have to rely on people queuing up together, and people can actually do custom games together. With that being said, map-specific drafts also allows for stage striking and stage banning. What do you think is a good system for a stage striking or just like stage selection process for a tournament, and what do you want to see happen?
I mean, there's a couple ways they could do it, but I like the idea of being able to possibly ban a map. I think that would be interesting to do. I'd like to play around with that a little bit, for sure. So
maybe we have 5 maps right now. It's a best of 3. Each team bans one map, and then based on seed, it goes selections or something like that, or like best of 5 series. I guess all maps would be played, in theory. And then, do you think the map should be kind of like predetermined at the start of the series? Like there's a whole selection process. Like there's a lot of different ways. I come from like a Smash Brothers background, and that's in Smash Brothers. It's all done like after each game.
Right. I think they should do like the StarCraft way, like. They ban the maps and they pick which order who goes what map should be played on.
The StarCraft.
I think that'd be better for the team and stuff. Yeah. So you know what maps are coming in what order, and you can prepare for that.
I think that's what we will see for sure. I would have to agree.
That's what I do.
Matt does. Matt's the TO of the century, apparently, tournament organizer. For anyone who doesn't know.
Yep, make it happen.
Yeah. Well, we might. Matt, why don't you just plug your Reddit thread that you put out today? While we're here?
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, I ran Kings of the Storm, what was it, 4 months ago now?
I think know, it was? When you killed Custom Games.
I know. Whenever Custom Games got removed is when I ran my tournament. And that was the first one I did, and now I'm reviving it with my good buddy Jake here. We're going to be doing a whole lot of work for it. We're putting a ton of production value and time into it. The first one that's going to run is almost certainly not going to cap because I have a pretty strong restriction on it, but it's October 11th. It's a 32-man bracket, and the only requirement is that you obviously come with a full team, and every person on your team has to have 12 heroes so that you could draft. And that's it. And that I know for a fact that that's very hard to do because you're only gonna have like 5 days. So if you don't pay money, you're probably not gonna be able to play in the event. I get that. It's fine. The tournament is gonna be weekly, so don't worry about that. It'll be around. So if that's your thing, if you're into tournaments, find the Reddit thread and message me directly, whatever it takes. And I'm going to run open events for everyone. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We're all excited for Kings of the Storm, and I hope we can see Curse in shape, ready to play then. So Sev, we hope everything's going well in terms of surgery and your conditions. But we're at the point of the show where we're wrapping up. We're giving our final shout-outs. So, Seb, let's start with you. Why don't you give your shout-outs and tell people where they can find you online?
You just find me on Curse Sev on Twitter, and just like thank my sponsor. Shout out to Kula Master, Alienware, Loot Crate, and that's about it. You Sneaky?
Yeah, I'm CRS Sneaky on Twitter and Facebook. Shout out to you guys for having us on the show. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to like Team Curse, and then of course the sponsors that make it happen. You know, Cooler Master, Alienware, Azubu, Astro, Loot Crate, all awesome guys doing great things.
Awesome. Now, are you guys going to start streaming? Because I know a lot of Curse guys stream on Azubu, but are you guys going to start streaming anytime soon?
I was streaming before the surgery, so I can't wait. Plus, I was watching and my monitor broke, so I had to reset up my whole entire rig again.
Oh no.
So out of smite, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have like a 3-monitor setup. Screw this. I'm doing this right now.
That's what I want. I'm like,
No, that's why I have the monitors in the back just pre-set up, just getting it ready. I'm so excited.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm anxious to get that 3-monitor life. It's a good life. What's up, Sneaky?
Yeah, I do have a stream over on Azubu. It's actually Sneaky Beaver, which is the full name. No E at the end of Beaver, so it's just an R. I know, kind of lame, but yeah, you know, I try to stream when I can, when I can. But yeah,
Great.
looking to stream a lot more. That's for sure.
And Matt, the floor is yours.
Okay. First off, shout out to Kuvi, because he's going to be letting us do all of our stuff in his house. That's awesome. Shout out to pretty much anybody that's already signed up for the event that I'm running and that's giving me support for running them. That's awesome. Shout out to Blizzard for giving us custom games back. Sorry, community. And shout out to going to BlizzCon and meeting everybody, hopefully. So we'll be doing a bunch of shows before we get there. But if you're going to BlizzCon, drop us a line and we'd love to talk to you. Maybe even interview you while we're there. So that's
Wait,
it.
see you there then.
Yeah.
for sure.
So it's just to bounce off what Matt just said there. He said, shout out to Kubi. I'm actually moving in with Omega Black Mage. He's one of my co-hosts on Town Hall. We do another show together called Duo Q. I'm moving as early as tomorrow. I'm waiting on a final confirmation, and then I'll be going to his house. We're going to be doing a production style thing there. I'm setting up pretty much a whole studio. I just bought a ton of new gear, and we're going to be casting Heroes of the Storm and doing shows like this live out of his house every single week. So it's going to be a ton of fun. Like Matt said, we're going to be going to BlizzCon. We're going with a camera and a microphone, and we're interviewing players, personalities, developers, anyone we can get our hands on all weekend long, just creating buttloads of content. There's going to be like just an influx of Clairvoyance episodes. We're going to go from like episode 10 to like episode 25 in like the course of 2 weeks, just releasing the videos. So it's going to be really exciting. I cannot wait for that. But yeah, no, it's go time, and like Matt said, we're just cranking. We're just going, ready to make, because we have custom games. That's like, we went from having a yellow light to being like, we're kind of like dodging cars, you know, trying to get through that light, but now it's green light. We're just that was probably the worst analogy ever. I don't care.
Autobahn.
So
They're just going.
So the shout outs, just Solid Jake GG on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Very easy. All the VODs for all the shows I do, and just gameplays, tutorials, and I'm doing a lot of beginner stuff in the upcoming future, just stuff targeted towards new players to the game. Will be on youtube.com/solidjakegg. Please do me a huge favor and hit the follow button here on my Twitch. I'm going to be streaming full time as soon as the alpha returns, and I'm probably doing a 24-hour stream this weekend. Like I said, we're going to BlizzCon, and I'm going to be doing a 24-hour broadcast to try to make BlizzCon a viable thing, because money's rough. But on that note, so yeah, just hit the follow button. Really, I appreciate it a lot. Be really awesome. I can't even talk. All right, it's time for the show to end.
All right. Bye. Thanks.
So, Curse,
Thank you,
guys, Sneaky, Sev, it's been a pleasure having you. And until next time here in Clairvoyance, take care.
Bye.
Fine.